Namaskaram. Hi, Michael. Hi, Ernesto. Today we're going to talk about the dṛṣṭi-sṛṣṭi vāda and how this can be challenged by the discovery of fossils, history, different discoveries, etc. Yeah. So, how would you say?
That is to deal with all such challenges. The simple weapon we've got in our armory is dream. In a dream, you can discover fossils. In a dream, you can discover the Big Bang Theory. You can learn about history. You can do so many things in dream. But supposing you, in your dream, you find a book, on a history book, and you learn, but 300 years ago, there was a war, but you had never heard about before. You thought, oh, I'm learning some new history. You're very, very excited and thinking, oh, wow. So this changed the course of European history, and this had such an effect and this changed the whole course of the world. So how is it they didn't teach me this history when I was at school? Because this is such an important element of history, you may think. When you wake up, all the history you learned in a dream becomes meaningless because it was all just part of a dream. So likewise, the discovery of fossils, the discovery of all what physics has, that is, physics has this theory, the Big Bang Theory, but everything began so many billions of years ago with the Big Bang. And they find so much evidence for this, and there's all sorts of reasons they have for believing this. But if all this is just a dream, what value does that have? If there are new scientific discoveries occur in our dream, something beyond beyond. I mean, I'm sure people who are doing physicists who are doing quantum research, they must have dreams, and maybe in their dreams they discover some whole new element of it. But when they come back to the waking, all that they discovered is of no value because it was all just part of a dream. Sometimes there are discoveries in dream which are actually applicable in the waking state, but that is just because that is what happened to be of the clarity that came in that dream is applicable in this dream. But generally, the things that we discover in dream are of no value at all in this waking state because they're not applicable. They're from a different, that is a different dream, this is a different dream.
Well, generally it's different, no? What you dream in the respect Jagrat, no? Respect the other state.
Yeah.
But maybe in this state, no, of dream, maybe the most confusion that we can live is that it is possible in the dream state that you have a dream that repeat in the next night and the next night and the next night, maybe 2 years sleeping, dreaming with the same, no?
Yes.
But I think a big difference with respect to this state of the dream state of the Vigilia of Jagrat, no, is that you are dreaming the same life of this eye, no?
Yes.
Along maybe 30, 40, or 50 or 60 years.
Yes.
And it's the line of the memory, no?
Yes.
Make a little more confusion about the appearance of this Maya, no? In the sequence of elements of the years, no? You look, for example, all the photographies of Michael when you was 2 years ago, when you was born, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, you stay in London, you go to India, all of this, and you can say this is a dream that disappear in the dream state of this night, no? We know it in the dream, profound dream, no, without dreams to disappear all, and this only begin to appear when I am in this dream. But this line of the memory, maybe is the most controversial element to the people who try to defend that there are something that exists before.
Yes, but memory is not evidence of anything, actually, because memory is what we're experiencing now. Now I remember what I experienced 10 years ago. But how can I be sure that what I remember now is what I actually experienced? It is possible, but I was created just 5 minutes ago, along with all my memories. So all these, that is the crucial point of dṛṣṭi-sṛṣṭi vāda. It is saying that nothing that we experience exists independent of our experience of it. That is, if we think about it deeply, that is an irrefutable contention. You can doubt, you can think, oh, but maybe things exist independent of our perception of it. Maybe they do, but how can we can never know that anything exists independent of our, it's a mere belief. It's a mere supposition. There can never be any evidence that anything exists independent of our perception of it.
Because you are always in the present.
For example, this Big Bang. Was anyone around in the Big Bang to witness the Big Bang? So the Big Bang, it exists where? It exists in the mind of a physicist who believe in it. So they say, oh no, but we've got so much evidence. But all that evidence is also in their mind. Just like the Christian fundamentalists will say, definitely the world was created in 7 days because there's evidence for it in the Bible. The Bible is the word of God. What stronger evidence do you need than the word of God? So if you want to believe something, you will believe it. But all your beliefs exist only in your mind. The very idea about the world being created in 7 days or the world beginning from a Big Bang, these are all just ideas. They're ideas in the mind. The whole world is nothing but ideas. That is what we call the world, as Bhagavan pointed out in verse 7 of Ulladu, it is just 5 kinds of sense impression. Sights, sounds, tastes, tactile sensations, and smells. Take away these and there's no such thing as the world. So all these sense impressions are mental impressions. So how can you say that anything exists independent of the mind? These are all just they all appear in the mind to the mind. In the absence of the mind in sleep, none of these things appear. As Bhagavan said, if the world exists in your sleep, let it come and tell you that it exists in your sleep. Why did the world never come and tell you that it exists in your sleep? Because if it actually existed, in sleep we are aware, but we are not aware of this body or world. What do we have to infer from that? If this world actually exists in our sleep, why are we not aware of it? People say, oh, because we're unconscious in sleep. No, we're not unconscious. We know we are asleep. We don't even know we're asleep. We know we are. We are aware of our own existence in sleep.
It can be, Michael, that what confuses us in that sense is that most people, at least not myself, I've never had a dream of this nature, in the sense of a dream followed by periods of sleep, getting up over the years. Maybe it's just the form of the dream, but not the nature. I mean, the nature is a dream, because our memories can be put into our minds, right now.
Yes.
But the form that this dream takes, because it's different, and usually we have maybe it lasts, during the dream, it lasts like several hours or days or a week or something, but never like. I dreamt last night. I dreamt that I lived for 70 years, and I had childhood, and I went to college and graduated, and never like this in
But
in the form.
you're saying that from the perspective of a waking state. But while you're dreaming, if someone asks you, do you remember your childhood? You would say, yes, of course I remember my childhood. If they ask, where did you go to school? You'll say the name of your school. Mm-hmm. Because when you're dreaming, you think you're awake. So all the memories that you have in the waking state are available to you there in dream. Sometimes in dream, we get a bit confused about things. We're not quite, we think there should be something I remember. Like we may suddenly find we're back in school. And we feel, no, it's not right, but I'm in school. I left school years ago. But then they're back in school. So sometimes there are confusing things happen in dream, but challenge our memories. But right. Still the memories are there.
Yeah, from the perspective of this state, referring to the dreaming of Carlos,
yeah,
we can say I can see like a very clear line of events, the moment of the childhood, the moment of the maturity, the moment of the old man with 70 years old. Okay, but when you are in the dream,
yes,
you think that what you are living in this moment, if I have 70 years old, is a different moment that the moments before, when you are a childhood, when you're a mature man, and this the memory, can give you this illusion that there are different moments in different.
Yeah, I mean that is what confuses, but exactly from this point of view, of course. But when the dream starts, you feel yourself to be 40 years old, 50. Yeah. So you have a past in the dream.
Yeah,
you've done things and many things, and all this background is there.
Yeah,
in your mind. Yeah. So in that sense, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all these moments occurs in the same present only. And unique.
Yes, all things that happen in the flow of time, not in the precise present moment, because the precise present moment has no duration. So nothing happens in the present. But when we rise as ego, take ourselves to be a body, we seem to be in a flow of time. And because we seem to be in a flow of time, all these different events, so many things are happening. If we try to look deep within to see what is the exact present moment, we will come to a standstill. Because in the precise present moment, there is no room for any movement, any change or anything. That is the point at which the mind subsides back into its source. Yes. But where to find that precise present moment? Only by looking deep within ourselves.
Yes.
Because what is the presence that makes the present moment present? What is the present that makes the present place here? It's only the presence of ourself. So if you want to know the truth of time, you need to know the truth of the present moment. And to know the truth of the present moment, you need to know the truth of yourself. The one who is always present.
So when people present arguments, like maybe World War II, that or the Holocaust or something like that, maybe someone who was there and tells you about what they lived and suffered and stories about concentration camps and so on. I mean, our mission is not to judge if that happened. Or not. It's just for ourselves to
that is, so long as we look outwards, all these things are in effect real, but they are as real as the body that we now take ourselves to be. So because we're now looking outwards, we're aware of ourselves as I am this body. So this body was born so many years ago. It's going to die so many years, days or minutes or whatever, hence sometime it's going to die. And this body was born to certain parents, and those parents underwent certain history. Our parents or our grandparents may have been living in the time of the Holocaust. They may have known people who died in the Holocaust and so on. So it's all this seems so real because we now identify ourselves as I am this body. So long as we are looking outwards, aware of ourselves as I am Carlos, or I am Ernesto, or I am Michael, all this world and all its history and its science, in effect, is true.
Yeah.
But if you look back within and see that the one who knows all these things is itself non-existent, all these things will cease to exist.
When you say, Michael, all that events occurs in the floor of time.
Yes.
And this floor of time occurs in the only real present that I am, no?
Yes, yes. It all appears. It doesn't occur. It
appears. Yes.
Bhagavan says that it's necessary for us, to consider this world a dream, no?
Yes, yes.
But it's in that sense that it's helpful for our practice, and only that. It's not to know if that exists, the World War II existed or not. No.
Yeah. That is, if we don't understand these things properly, we can think, oh, everything is a dream, so it doesn't matter. I can cheat people. I can enjoy all the pleasures of life because everyone else is just my dream creation. So let me enjoy myself. That is a wrong understanding. That is why Bhagavan says it's a dream. It doesn't mean that we should change our outward behavior, because the outward behavior is the behavior of the person who is a part of that dream. So it's nothing to do with the understanding that this is all a dream is not to be applied in our outward activities. It is to be applied by looking deep within ourselves to find out, who am I, the dreamer? To whom do all these things appear? So we need to, whatever Bhagavan has taught us, we need to consider deeply and understand what is the practical implication of what he's teaching. Why did Bhagavan teach dṛṣṭi-sṛṣṭi vāda? Because it has a very deep practical implication. Dṛṣṭi-sṛṣṭi vāda means everything depends on our perception of it, and the perception of it depends upon the perceiver of it. So everything is based upon this one who is perceiving. Who is the perceiver? Ego. What is ego? The false awareness, I am Carlos or Ernesto or Michael or whoever. That is it is to all that Bhagavan taught us. We need to think deeply about it and understand the practical implication. The practical implication of all that Bhagavan taught us is that making research on anything other than ourselves is futile. The only research we should make, the only investigation we should do, is to investigate ourselves. Who am I? Because everything else seems to exist only in whose view? In the view of this ego. So if we understand Bhagavan, coming back to your original question, if we understand Bhagavan's teachings correctly, there's no challenge that people can throw at us, but will shake us from our conviction that we have no evidence whatsoever that anything exists independent of our perception of it.
And of course, we are not to contend with anyone about.
No, we're not to contend, but for our own. I mean,
for our own practice.
There's no benefit in convincing others. It's ourselves we need to convince.
And the charge of the proof is for the dṛṣṭi-sṛṣṭi vāda people, no?
Yes, yeah. I mean, let them. Those who want to believe the world is real, let them believe, because they are part of the world which is itself unreal. So let us not be concerned about what others believe. This is what Bhagavan taught us is for our own salvation.
Yes. All reduced to this question that you said before, no?
Yeah.
Can you prove me that something exists without my perception of it?
Yeah. Well, we should frame the question slightly differently. Can we prove to ourselves that anything exists independent of our perception of it? Our aim isn't to challenge others. Our aim is to challenge ourselves, challenge our own beliefs.
Yeah.
And this introduces also the dṛṣṭi-sṛṣṭi vāda introduces the ekajiva vāda, yeah? Also.
Yes, but it's the same. I mean, each entails the other.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
In dream, how many dreamers are there? There's only one dreamer. There are many people in the dream. And the dreamer seems to be one among those many people. But the dream is perceived only by the dreamer.
Mm-hmm. And when people asked Bhagavan, like, okay, so whose dream is that? Yeah, he would say, you are that. Yeah,
you are that. Yes,
whoever said that, but you are that, no, meaning you are that ego.
Yes.
You are that what you actually are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
You are that ego, and if you investigate that ego, you will find that ego is that.
Right.
The ultimate that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's like the wrong question to ask. Yeah, like whose ego is it?
Yeah.
It seems so logical from our.
Is it my ego or your ego? As if ego is a possession of ours. Then who are we? If it's our ego,
yeah, exactly.
Ego is it is not Michael's ego. It's ego's Michael.
It's Michael. Okay, so we ran out of questions. I don't know if you want to add anything else, Ernesto, or Michael.
Sorry, this topic we were able to bring to an end very quickly, because it's so easy to demolish, or any argument that anyone can come up with can be so easily demolished. Because there is no evidence in our experience that anything we experience is other than our experience of it.
Anything comes from inside the dream, so there is no way to.
And because we are convinced of the answer before we begin to speak.
Yes. We have to use our imagination to think of all the arguments against it, but it's so if we've thought about this deeply, it is so obvious that all the arguments against it are such feeble arguments. It's hard to make a convincing case against it.